Good morning, all of you. I think you must be in prelims mode. So those people who have turned up for the ethics class, it means that you are quite confident of prelims. And those who are feeling insecure stayed back home. Am I right? Good, good. Or some of you are thinking of next year. Yeah? No, that's ample time is available. Okay. Ample time is available if you are thinking about clearing this year's prelims. Okay, still a long way to go. It does not mean that you should take a sigh of relief. It only means that even if you have not done so serious preparation till date, you can gear up from this time onwards. Okay. So yes, this is the last class of ethics, and we are discussing case studies, okay, particularly. And if you have any doubts with regard to any case study, etc. Now we have, for both the classes, we have done some basic framework. This time giving a sort of revision that what we have done. We have done some theoretical framework called ethical dilemma. Okay, what are the types of ethical dilemma, etc. You must be remembering. We have discussed the three types of dilemmas. Primarily can be classified into two. Yes, what are the two broadly dilemmas? Personal cost dilemma and right versus right. Okay, so most of the case studies depend upon this. That is personal interest versus public interest. These are one group of case studies. And second is both are public interest versus public interest. But in this case, the conflicting values come across. Okay, this is conflicting. Two desirable values are conflicting with each other. Okay, desirable values which come in conflict with each other. Here, personal interest can be monetary, it can be material, it can be favor to near and dear one, favoritism or nepotism, or the benefits related with service conditions. Remember this one key factor, that is whenever any sort of question is framed on this, you should always keep aside the personal interest, however important it is. Okay, you are not expected to use the public authority for the private purpose. So that's how you have to come out of the case study. Now, these are more challenging case studies because both the values are desirable. And there is a conflict in between two desirable values. So say, for example, the question is framed with regard to development versus environment. Okay, question is framed with respect to objectivity or impartiality versus empathy. Now, in all such cases, both, since this is also important, this is also important, so all are important. So first attempt should be made in order to find out the balanced answer. Like in case of development and environment, you can combine, okay, both, and we have something called sustainable development. Okay, so this is where we can find out the third way, where we can combine both the desirable values and can come up with some unique solution. In case of objectivity and empathy, or in some other cases, you may not able to do so. That is finding the middle path. So in such cases, you may choose one without ignoring the other. Okay, in a given case, you should say that I will show an empathy and compassion in this case, or maybe the objectivity in this case, depending upon different case studies and what sort of authority and the mandate is there with you. And then saying that other point is equally important, equally desirable, and I will find some alternative mechanisms in order to address those things. Okay, so that is how you have to move ahead. We have discussed lot many cases. Apart from that, we have also discussed especially the whistleblowing, cases of whistleblowing. So cases of whistleblowing, we have discussed theory also, that is what is in whistleblowing and what are the ethical dilemmas of whistleblower. Also, we have discussed there is a step-by-step mechanism of whistleblowing. Okay, if anything goes wrong within the system, you should not immediately go and leak the information. Okay, that will, because you as a member of organization, you also have certain code of conduct to follow. Okay, that you have signed a contract with an organization, so there are certain organizational ethics, official secrecy and confidential clauses, and you have a stake to maintain the image of the company in the long term. So therefore, you should not immediately, without giving a chance to the organization, leak the information to the public. But at the same time, you should not remain silent also in order to save the image of organization, because when the larger public interest is getting affected, it's your duty that you should work in the larger public interest as well. So there are dilemmas here. That is a one with the organizational image, okay, preserving the organizational image and organizational ethics versus the larger public interest. Second is internal mechanism should be followed or you should leak the information. So in that, if you see that the balanced approach is when something you come across so-called wrongdoing, then you should immediately inform the seniors. So first here you have to follow is an internal mechanism. And if internal mechanism fails, this is not an internal mechanism, is just exhausting through the hierarchy, that is a higher ups within the hierarchy. Okay, your senior, your super senior, and the highest point within the hierarchy. This is not an whistleblowing. Okay, this is just a following the internal mechanism. When the internal mechanism fail, okay, if this is a hierarchy, so if you are placed here, senior, and then higher ups. If internal mechanism fails, then you should adopt the internal whistleblowing. Internal whistleblowing. See, internal whistleblowing and internal mechanism are two different things. Internal whistleblowing is some vigilant office which is dedicated for taking up the cases of wrongdoing and corruption, misconduct. Then, like in case of India, CVC and SVC, or maybe Lokpal and Lokayukta, etc. So, generally writing, you can simply write, I will report to the concerned authority, etc. So, the vigilant organization which is existing within the broader framework, that is the internal mechanism. As an employee, you have these two options, and only when it is get exhausted at your risk, you can also go for the external whistleblowing. Again, external whistleblowing you should not do anonymously, okay, because it will not reach to the logical conclusion, okay, when you will take it to the external whistleblowing through anonymous mechanism. External mechanism has to be after exhausting this, because your organization will frame charges against you, violation of code of conduct and the secrecy clauses. So the case may be filed up in CAT and SAT. In such cases, you should have all the evidences that you have exhausted this mechanism, and only after exhausting this mechanism, for the larger public interest, you have gone public. Okay, so that is how following the external whistleblowing. Yes, please. Internal? Yes, certainly. See, yes, certainly. See, for every different issues, there are different bodies are there. Regulatory bodies are there. Say, for example, women's issue are there. So, National Women's Commission. Children se related hai, that sort of thing. Yes. So, CAT is, if you have the grievances against you, somebody is trying to harass you. Okay, so likewise. That's why I said that internal mechanism, it's not just CVC. CVC is basically for the corruption. But in an organization, there can be different types of misconduct. Okay, so accordingly, you can approach the bodies. Like human right violation is happening. So if the human right violation is happening, you have to approach to the NHRC maybe. That will be a more apt option likewise. Okay. Yes, so that is the internal whistleblowing and then external whistleblowing. If you are a citizen, you have an option because there is always a possibility that you may approach internal or external mechanism also. So that's how that use of the social media, leaking the information, etc. So that's about the whistleblowing. Also remember that once when you are only supposed to take the decisions, there cannot be whistleblowing. It is more about the taking a proactive decision. Are you understanding? Difference between the whistleblowing and taking a proactive decision. See, for example, we have discussed one case like a flyover bridge, if you remember. Okay, so if the authority is there in your hand, where you can make the changes. So you should follow those things. So there is nothing like whistleblowing when you yourself can change the things. You have a mandate, you have a power, you have an authority to do it. So if you do the whistleblowing, ultimately it will come back to you that you are the responsible person. Whistleblowing is when the act has already happened in some other department and you could not prevent it from happening. Or you are in a lower office, lower rank, and you cannot prevent something from happening. It's also not about prevention. Even if the thing has already happened and misconduct has already happened, then also you can blow the whistle. Are you understanding? So that difference has to be kept in mind. So that's some of the case studies you will get from this part, personal interest and public interest. Some of the case studies from the conflicting ideas. Some cases from the whistleblowing. Yes, few cases you will get from the attitudinal change, okay? That also we have done in the attitudinal class, that is attitudinal change. So there are lot many prejudices existed in the society. So, yes, please. Hidden motivation. Hmm. Hmm. Yes, in that cases also, we have to like see the thing is ethics is also contextual and is different from different angles. Even if the Edward Snowden must have done something for the larger interest of the society, okay, international community, but from the American point of view, he has breached the internal security. Like it's same as good as like if you are a member of a RAW and IB and you expose some internal scandal within the defense. So obviously the Pakistan, China and rest of the countries will praise you. Okay. But then you have breached the secrecy and confidential laws of the country. There is altogether a different, bigger debate that whether the organization under the disguise of national interest should promote unethical behavior within organization. Okay, the larger part is not on Edward Snowden, but on the unethical means that are being adopted by the country or organization. Like say, for example, they are checking the mails and snooping the whole this PRISM program of the US, through which they are seeing the different things that obviously from email to the corporate level. So that sort of thing is being questionable. His action has a two angles again. The international angle they are praising because it is bringing a lot more transparency. It is bringing that it has exposed that sort of cyber threat that can emerge in the contemporary context. But from the American side of point of side, okay, he has breached the security, particularly when you have joined such organization which is known for secrecy. Okay, so both the angles you need to write in such cases. So, see, in case of, see, when the larger human right violations are there, etc., you have to expose, okay? There are no correct answers in this. Okay? You have to discuss both the sides. And for him, in fact, the American secrecy and national interest is not that important, particularly when you are ruthlessly using the technology to the advantages of one country by decepting the other country and their citizens. So for him, it was more important. So that way, you have to write that if you want to give a justification for something which you are doing, your answer should be emphasized on that. Okay? Are you understanding? Okay, so that's a very peculiar case. Otherwise, we see that when you are in a security organization, in fact, it's you who have, while entering, written the documents that I will not divulge any secret of this organization. So as long as you are a part of that organization, you should, there is something called as contractual ethics. Okay, you need to follow this. If you are not willing to follow, then you should not have joined the organization in the first place itself. Okay? Hidden motivation, secret organizations are known for it. That's why, see, organization will do what they are going to do. That is, they have filed up the charges of National Security Act under whatever the breach of law is there. He has done what he has believed in. Okay? So both the sides are there in such cases. Yes, now, yes, attitudinal change is one area. Attitudinal change, we have lot many issues within the Indian society. So right from patriarchal attitude to different cultural prejudices, caste prejudices, then religion prejudices, discrimination of different forms. Discrimination is a one big word that wherever there is a discrimination, so somewhere it means that you need to write something in the case study with regard to change in attitude. So change in attitude, we have different theories, Pavlovian theories, reward and punishment theory, persuasion theory. Okay. Also, attitudinal change is not only through this particular method, that is Pavlov conditioning, reward and punishment, and persuasion. These are the democratic theories, okay, through which you can change the mindset. But you should also incorporate warning. You should also incorporate the legal methods also, because you have to write both carrot and stick. Okay, that is, some changes can be brought in long term by inculcating certain values, okay, and through the method of persuasion. But some of the people require, so in some cases, you need to be bringing very stringent laws. That law also help in observing the ethical behavior in the society in the short run, because you cannot wait for attitudinal change to happen, and it takes a lot of time. And also, you can never guarantee that 100% people of the society will have altogether a different attitude, that is required attitude. So both the things should run simultaneously. Okay, so that's about the, and here in attitudinal change, generally the social evils are being asked. So you need to find out what are the steps taken by the government of India. So you can write like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan or Beti Batao, but Beti Padhao Andolan. Okay, so different types of social evil that exist, the government is also doing. So you can also drop those schemes and programs through which the government is trying to bring the attitudinal change in such cases. Okay, beyond that, you can also suggest some innovative approach also through which you can try and change the attitude. Okay, so these are some of the cases. So by and large, you will see that this collection of cases, if you know and have done your homework thoroughly about the theory part and previous year's question paper, you will not face the problem. The next is something like disaster management and catastrophe that happens. So what is the role of civil servant, or what are the priorities, etc. So that is something you can remember. That is next, maybe the crisis management oblique disaster management. Okay, what is the role of civil servant in such situation? Anybody has paper of 2016, 15? 2015 का paper है क्या? No. Okay. So in 2015, a very different case was asked, which talked about the disaster management. Okay, disaster management and issues related with that. So Now, there was in Uttarakhand, there was a landslide, and people are trapped inside the. Yes, and you have to see the order in which. Okay, yes, 2015. I'm reading the question, so please, I'll write something also. What are the relevant points? There is a disaster-prone state having frequent landslides, forest fires, cloud bursts, flash floods, earthquakes, etc. Obviously, Uttarakhand. So, नहीं आपको इतनी geography पता होनी चाहिए. Landslide, forest fires, cloud bursts, flash floods, and earthquakes. Some of them are seasonal and often unpredictable. The magnitude of disaster is always unanticipated. During one of the season, the cloudburst caused the devastating flood and landslide, causing the high casualties. There was a major damage to the infrastructure like road, bridges, and the power generation. So this was all general points. Now the question says that this has led to one such disaster has happened, and some of the people, like almost 1 lakh people, have been trapped, and different categories of people have been told to us. Now you have very limited resources. Okay, so I'm reading that point. That is, this lead to trapping of pilgrims, tourists, and other local traps across the different routes. The people trapped in your area of responsibility included senior citizens, patients in hospitals, women and children, hikers, tourists, ruling party regional presidents, along with their family, additional chief secretary of neighboring state and prisoner in jail. As a civil servant, what would be your order of preference in order to rescue these people and why? Okay, so there are a group of people, so simple cutting short the case study. There is a one disaster that has happened and different category of people have got trapped. Okay, now as a civil servant, what, because you cannot remove or rescue them all at once. So what will be your priority? Whom do you, yes, whom do you rescue first, and what will be your priority order? And you have to also write the justification also for each one of them. So I'm writing here what are the different people here. So the people trapped in your area, senior citizens, women and children, prisoners in jail, patients in hospital, tourists, hikers, regional party president, and their families. क्या लिखा है? एडिशनल चीफ सेक्रेटरी है क्या? Of neighboring state. Ruling party regional president, additional chief secretary of ruling party regional president. Okay, so you have to write the order of their preferences. Whom do you rescue first and why? So please take 5 minutes or 3-4 minutes and arrange them and also give the reasons. Yes, are you done? Tell me what should be the broader order. Patients in hospitals, okay. Hmm? Hmm. Hmm. Yes. Hmm. Hmm. मतलब सीनियर सिटीजन ऐसे ही बीमार कर दिया उनको. अडवाणी एकदम तैयार है प्रेसिडेंट बनने के लिए, आप उनको हट्टा कट्टा ऐसे ही. ठीक है. हाँ ठीक है. हम्म. ओके. हम्म. 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 Tourist, you have also assumed that they are the international tourists only. Hmm. Okay. So image of state will be at. Okay, fine. Regional party president. हाँ. Okay. हाँ. Okay, they may not harm. Okay, good. Interesting point. And last, the reason he has given is they may not harm the others. They are already in jail. Okay. Or what else? And hikers? Where you have put? Huh. Okay, like something like tourist. How do you have? Okay, fine. We will see. Interesting points you have made. Huh. Okay. Huh, fine. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Prisoners? Why? They will not harm the others. What he is saying. Huh. Reason is different. Okay. They are already done, committed the crime. Yes. जिसको हम नहीं मार पा रहे वो नेचर तो मार ही देगा उनको. हाँ. Prisoners in the second place. Look what he is saying. Prisoners in the second place. Isn't it ironical? Why there has to be two different poles, like putting the prisoners in the last and last but one, and putting the prisoners. Okay. हाँ. थोड़ी देर में. This is your assumption. Where it is written they are young, they are women, they are children, they are. Some of them are suffering from. No, come on, it's a prisoners. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, yes, that's also interesting. एक एक देखते हैं मतलब कब. हाँ, additional chief secretary. Why? Hmm. So, so this people in the government are the first among the equals. Hmm. Okay, good. हाँ, ठीक है. We'll discuss. हाँ, yes. Pardon? In the long run? Okay. Financial help. Okay. Any other rescue measures so that the other people who are trapped, he will go and take the decisions. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, ठीक है. But what is written there also you should mind. Who is that particular person? The word written. Yes, please. Huh? First women and children. Feminist argument. Okay, ठीक है. हाँ. मतलब एक फैशन है. पहले women का नाम लो. हाँ, ग्लोबल एथिक्स मतलब पेशेंट्स कुछ नहीं है. कम ऑन मतलब हाँ ठीक है. ओके हाँ. ओके विमेन एंड चिल्ड्रन निकाल दिया उनको. आगे. ओके. हम्म. हम्म. ओके. यस. टूरिस्ट एंड हाइकर्स. ओके. देन रूलिंग पार्टीज. देन prisoners. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now let's come. What he has to say. Hmm. 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 Okay. Hmm. Yes. Hmm. Okay. Fine. More or less fine. Okay. Let's think now this way. You are an obviously a civil servant, and when you want to rescue, think of what criteria should come into picture. That should it be the feminism versus this sort of gender discrimination or gender equality? Should it be the priority of the kind of the person they are, their image and their larger responsibility towards society? Or is there any other criteria? What sort of the primary criteria that you should think? Yes. Yes. See, the thing is, in such cases, the vulnerability criteria, okay, should be the priority. So you can introduce this case by saying that the disaster is something that where the people are trapped and they are trying to rescue. Now, the priority will be based upon the vulnerability of the people and the capacity of the people to protect themselves. Okay, if they can rescue by themselves and protect by themselves, help themselves in trying to find some position, so obviously they can be stayed there for some period of time. And those people who are more vulnerable, who don't have the capacity to support themselves and can come at the receiving end because of the casualty, those things should be. So you should very clear cut about the criteria. Now, if this criteria will be remain same for any two group of people, then you have to add on some other criteria also. Also, with respect to the others, there can be some more additional criteria also. Like if you take this, we will arrange all the points later on. But think of now who are the strongest one, hikers. Okay, so if you hikers already, they are mountaineers, they have the experience, they know everything. So they have all the knowledge of disaster management. They have must have faced some small crisis management crisis, and therefore they can stay there. Okay, so the last in the priority is the hikers. Okay, so that's you can fix the hikers. Now coming to the from the top you see now these are the vulnerable group, obviously the patients in hospital, women and senior children. Okay, we will leave prisoners for just for a 1 minute. The patients in hospital, obviously they are already the patients, so for a variety of the reason they cannot support themselves in a bed, so forget about disaster management, running from here and hiding themselves and finding the safe place. So obviously the patient in hospital, they are the most vulnerable, and in fact it is where they are individually also they are the sufferers, and also the natural calamity may add on to it. So patients in the hospitals are the first to be rescued. Yes. Easy, it will not be the criteria, but it's no. The tourists may be the very easy. The hikers may be also the easy. Hikers are already, you can see that these are the hikers, and easy is not a criteria. Even if it is difficult, you should remove them first where you can rescue. Okay, so the patients in the hospitals can be removed. Now see the women and children and senior citizen, obviously we see that senior citizen is a vulnerable group. In disaster management, you require a lot of dynamism, flexibility, moving from here and there, trying to protect oneself. So obviously these are also the vulnerable sections. So senior citizens can be taken out. Women and children can be taken out. Okay, for obvious reason, you can say that the children are vulnerable. They do not have. There is a panic among them. Along with that, women who are supporting them. Now, here you will not go wrong even if you will change women first and senior citizen. That's not going to affect. These are all the three are vulnerable group. Now, there is a catch here in case of prisoners. You might be feeling for obvious two reasons, because they are obviously they are criminals, and therefore they are some are the bad elements of the society, and since they are the bad elements of the society, there is no reason why we should give them the preference. But remember that it's the state authority, once you have put them into the jail, to protect the prisoners within the jail. Okay, and you cannot leave them at their because they are the criminals, so the protection is not your concern. So certainly it's the state's responsibility to protect the criminals in jails. Now the point is, what should be the priority? So we are not leaving them behind. Second is, now if you see the vulnerability at individual level, because of their physiology and anatomy, they are not vulnerable. But because they are confined within the fixed place, they cannot run out. Okay, even if he is a 6-pack and 8-packs, but he cannot run from his particular place. He is confined into a fixed surrounding or in a jail. So his mobility is very restricted. So in this case, if the calamity is coming, think of it. Now, even if you make a comparative analysis with other things, tourists, they will at least see there is always a self-defense mechanism. Okay, you will find and try to find some places where they are more safe than the others. So they can find the safe places and they can hide for some period of time. Likewise, it goes same with the all other players also. So yes, the prisoners, because they cannot move out from the confined positions, they should be rescued, otherwise there will be in calamity. Are you understanding why vulnerability? Not vulnerability because of their individual physiological reasons, but because of they are confined. Okay. Now, if you are removed, now obviously the next is let's think of regional party president and additional chief secretary. Regional party president, what do you think about it? Should there be priority before the tourist or after the tourist, and why? Hmm? Okay, yes, that is a good criteria, but political parties member should be first or later, and they are the regional party president. A family, let's forget this regional party presidents we are talking. Political party people. What do you think? Should they be rescued first or later? Huh. Yes, very good. In fact, the point is, see, the thing is, you might think that they are very important. Okay, they are very important than rest of the people, and therefore they should be rescued first. And this is one approach I'm saying. Okay, very obviously we think that because he is a chief minister, prime minister, minister, regional party president, etc., 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 etc. Here it is simply written regional party president. So regional party president, you may think that he will come out, and if the regional party president is trapped, there is a havoc. Regional party president can go and help also. This can be one observation, but remember that they are the political representatives. They are, in fact, the people will have a trust into a particular system when now this is the time where they have to display that they are the people's representative, okay, and they should help the others to rescue first. Also, it will shape the attitude of the common man, citizens in the society also, that yes, preference is given to the, in general, the citizen first. Second thing is, by staying themselves, they can also try and diffuse the panic that is prevalent among the people, because they are supposed to have and carry a larger wisdom as compared to the others. So they can manage few of the things there, and they can diffuse the panic, the insecurity that is prevailing among the people there. So as a responsible players of the society and as a representative of the society, so they can help the others to get rescued first. So it means that the leader should keep themselves at the last, particularly in the crisis time situation. ऐसा नहीं है कि खुद पहले crisis से भाग लिया, ठीक है? He should be there, manage the things, give the other vulnerable section of the society the chance, and then he should rescue himself. Obviously, the family, you can write there that the family members, depending upon their vulnerability, they will be rescued first, but the political this thing can be awaited. Tourists, yes, इसके ये चार के बाद आप tourists को preference दे सकते हो for two reasons. Again, primary reason is because they are very, very new to that particular geographical area, so they are not knowing anything about that area. So there is a utter chaos. If you are a local person, you know that what is the geomorphology of this, how to face this sort of crisis. So local people have their conventional wisdom in order to fight with the natural calamities or any kind of the crisis that happens. But in such situation, tourists who are the vulnerable, they are fearful also, and they are not knowing anything about the local areas. Apart from that, here you can additionally, you can say that tourists are sort of the guests in a particular area, so their protection also give a longer message to the society. So in this case, you can say that the tourists can be rescued. In between the regional party and the additional secretary, see, the thing is, some of you have given the good reasons that additional chief secretary can be here also, because he can go back and arrange the things. Yes, that's a valid point. But remember, the word articulated is additional chief secretary of neighboring state. Okay? So it means that the disaster management authority of a given state has not been affected. Okay, he is not, if it would have been written, he is a head of the disaster management of a given state, he should have been the first one also. Okay, along with the patients in the hospital, he should be rescued first so that he can go there and can manage the things. The word written is additional chief secretary. Even in the neighboring state also, the kind of, if assistant is required, etc., so chief secretary there also is not affected. Are you understanding? So the word has not been written without any reason. That is additional word also and of the neighboring state. So again, although chief secretary is a very important position, but additional chief secretary of neighboring state in this case is as good as something other people, okay, in that category. So you may put him prior to the regional party president after the tourist, and saying that he is an important post, he can go there, regional party president, and then the hikers. Hikers, you can say that they are the strongest one, they know the area, they know the crisis management, they can in fact make every ditch of an attempt in order to rescue and help the state authorities to rescue these people. So this is how you have to write. So while writing, please write the criteria and the reasoned analysis that why you are choosing one particular person over the other. What about, yes? No, just not vulnerable. Here, up to this Vulnerable will be the first. But if people are equally vulnerable, then we have added some other components also. Hmm. Hmm. No, but why you have to assume this thing? Senior citizen number is also not given. Okay, and this it's not about the numbers. See, the thing is, senior citizen, even if one senior citizen is there, he will be rescued. It does not mean that you can only rescue the senior citizen at once. If you can rescue the 100 people, the senior citizen among them will be one of them. जैसे अगर आपकी गाड़ी में 100 लोग बैठ रहे हैं तो देयर शुड बी अ सीनियर सिटीजन ऑब्वियसली along with that your capacity obviously you will not say that ये ट्रिप इन लोगों की ये ट्रिप इन लोगों की है ठीक है it's only that your approach is you should not leave those people behind who are the most vulnerable. Obviously, that is what we are saying. All are humans, but some are more prone to die immediately as compared to the others. You think a very normal situation. Okay, जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि दो आदमी गिर गए हैं एक आदमी है एकदम छोटा बच्चा है 4 साल का और एक आदमी है 30 साल का एकदम हट्टा कट्टा ओके सलमान खान है समझो आप किसको रेस्क्यू करेंगे पहले बोथ आर ह्यूमन ओनली human being human so that's how you have to think about it okay it's not that we are discriminating the discriminating criteria that we have used is not his political position we have not used the rich and poor we have not used his ideology we haven't used the criteria religion we haven't used any personal preferences so if this kind of references would have that would have been the discriminatory something which is very natural and obvious that we have used. Okay? In fact, you can say that rescuing every single citizen is a priority of the state, but because the resources are limited and the time constraint is there, we have to prioritize it. We are not saying that the others are not to be rescued. Okay? Now let's move on to the next case study. 16 का है क्या किसके पास paper? Yeah, the 15 की है. 16 paper is there. Okay, another types of crisis is not a disaster management, but this can be a cases where, in general, whenever there is a crisis, and इसके बाद लेते हैं, ठीक है? So I'm reading the question. Next question. You are an officer in charge of important railway station, which is an artery of trade and commerce. Okay, so you are in charge of one of the important railway junction, from where the to and fro of the movements of goods, services, commerce, and people is happening. A very important railway junction. Now, the fact is, the farmers are protesting there in that particular area, and they are in discussion with the political and district leadership. Okay, there are certain grievances of farmers, and they were protesting normally. After the protest, they have discussion with the political class and the bureaucratic class of the area, but nothing has come out as such. Okay, no problem has not been resolved after deliberation and discussion. Now these farmers are thinking to sit on the railway track, okay, near that particular station. And in fact, they have succeeded in blocking the movement of all the trains in that particular railway area, affecting the rest of the things. This has caused the immense disruption, causing a significant harassment of the passengers and the economic losses to the state. Now, the question is, what are the course of immediate action? Okay, so I'm writing here. So you are a railway station in charge. And it has been written that this is very significant railway station. This is the artery of trade, commerce, and flow of the goods. On the other side, the farmers have certain grievances. Their grievances has not been addressed. Now they have decided to intensify their protest, and by intensification, what they mean is to sit on the railway platform. Okay, They have sat on the railway platform. They have succeeded in blocking the railway stations, causing a lot of harassment to the passengers as well as the economic losses to the state. Okay, Gujjar अधिवेशन, जाट अधिवेशन, they are very skillful in this. गुज्जर तो काफी skillful. वो तो बैठते नहीं है, ट्रैक पे उखाड़ देते हैं. ठीक है. Next is what will be your, yes, the questions are, first question is what will be your immediate action, immediate course of action क्या रहेगा, first question. Second question is how the emotional intelligence can act as a tool in handling this particular situation. First is what is your immediate action. Second question is how the emotional intelligence act as a tool in handling this situation. And third is what steps would you take so that such incidents will not happen in future. Such incidences will not happen in future. Yes, take 5 minutes and write whatever you wish to. Yes? नहीं ऐसे ही है, प्रीवियस ईयर्स के नहीं है. Yes, let's discuss. Are you done? Yes. Go ahead. Okay, good. Hmm. Hmm. Good. Hmm. Hmm. Read it once again. First from, say, please pay attention and be loud. Good. Hmm. Hmm. What is constitutional means of protest? Huh? Moderates. Hmm. Good. Hmm. Good. Yes. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Yes. Uh. Hmm. Good. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Good. Very good. Very nice. Or so that's the first part. Or any addition in the first question? Hmm. Diverting the train route. Okay. No, we will come to the long term. Okay. Yes. In the first, any additional you want to make? Hmm. 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 Yes. Yes. Hmm. 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 Okay. Huh. Hmm. 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 Okay. Hmm. Fine. Yes. Any additional point in the first question itself? Any additional point? Hmm. Okay. Huh. Pacifying it. Fine. Okay. Good. Hmm. Passing the buck. See, the thing is, what you are trying to see is just a one side of the coin. Here, if it is a platform, here the people are sitting. Okay, you are not paying an attention to the harassment and the disturbances that is causing to the passengers also. So your point should include both the sides. Okay, at one point you are trying to address the problem so that the tracks will be cleared off the protesters. But at the same time, you should not turn a blind eye completely towards the another side, that is a passenger side, who are languishing on the platform facing the problems. So some one action has to, so action should be on the two sides. One is on the people sitting on the platform and making the road clear, and the protection of the passenger and their safety, their security is also the concern of the station in charge. So this is how that peripheral points and core points should not be missed out. Okay. Now yes, here with respect to first the protesters, because they are occupying, so you can write that keep, this is a very important tract, and the country or the state cannot afford to remain aloof from or cannot continue or let the continue the protest from happening. So yes, from minimal conflicting option to the most stringent action you can go ahead. Yes, certainly it should start with the persuasion. Persuasion in the sense that you are trying to convince them that this is not the way and it is causing the economic losses and the difficulty for the passengers. So please leave the track. So this is the first thing that you should say. If they are leaving the track and getting convinced, obviously they will not, but this is how you have to start with. That is convincing them, persuading them to leave the track by making different arguments such as economic argument, the harassment that is causing to the farmers. So you are making a plea to remove. If they are not getting out, and obviously these are the one, and asking them that you can find out certain, so this is a part of persuasion only. Okay, persuading them what are the negative fallouts and asking them to adopt some other means. Second option is, before that, is warning. You can say that if you are not going, we are going to take an action against you. Okay, do not ask us, force us to take a strong action against you. So either of the two, sometimes persuasion works, sometimes warning works, because obviously the fear of going into the jail and the charges that will be there on them. So many of the people will also think of laying the protest. So second is the warning. And third, if the warning is also not, obviously is not changing their course of action, so obviously some sort of police action. So police action here, it means obviously they say this railway protection force, or you have the administrative machinery at your disposal. So technicalities is not important. What is important is, because this protest, see the thing is the protest constitutionally wrong? It's a very simple question I'm asking. Is the protest constitutionally wrong? Hmm? Yes, see, you need to differentiate between the legal and peaceful protest versus illegal and violent protest. Obviously, this is a very one of the most important method of grievance redressal and asking for justice. But this is absolutely cannot be justified, no matter however serious issue is. Okay, kitna bhi aapka serious issue hoga, tab this sort of illegal. So protest is fine, but sitting on the railway track and disrupting this thing is not acceptable. In fact, the law is very categorical that somebody who is causing a disruption to the public services, so it's like a breach of law, you can put them into the jail. Are you understanding? So democracy gives you a scope of protest and addressal of your grievances, but that should be done in a peaceful manner and through the legitimate methods. So there can be other legitimate and peaceful methods, but sitting on the railway track and then causing disruptions is something which cannot be accepted. So first persuasion, then warning, and if the warning is not there, so obviously you have to like pick up those people who are causing a disruption. This is also because today they have sat on the track, tomorrow they will again, in order to prevent any untoward incidents from happening. Okay, there can be a more and more intensification. So you have to put them into the jail, those people who are there. So this is because immediate clearing of the tract is your priority, and you are not going altogether misuse of the power, but you are going in a very step-by-step manner. And finally, putting them into the jail, also you are using some of the legal provisions only. Okay, so that's the first part here that you are trying to clear the track. Second is, meantime, as the protesters are occupying the space, I will also not overlook the problems of the passenger who are on the platform. So I will try and make an arrangement. If alternative routes can be possible, I'll make an alternative routes. I'll talk to the other public transports so that if the additional bus can be provided to them. And third is those people who are staying there, I'll arrange all those basic facilities, medical facilities and drinking water and other some railway protection force, additional railway protection deployment will be there so that there will be no chaos. Are you understanding? So both the things has to happen simultaneously as a responsible person. Now, the question number 2. Yes, you want to ask something? Yes, that can be also, but here the point is they are not the one. See, वो उसमें होता है जब रेलवे के ही अपने लोग वहाँ पे ऑक्युपाई कर रहे हैं and they are not functioning. Government employees, हाँ बहुत सारे एक्ट वहाँ पे उतना ज़्यादा लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है, but you have to take that is some action has to be taken. Yes, second question is, what is the role of emotional intelligence? First tell me, yes, you can straightforward tell the answers. Okay, good. Others. Hmm. Yes. Yes. That's right. In fact, you have taken the definition. And then, yes, how the emotional intelligence? Yes, go ahead. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Fine. That is one. Huh. Anything else? No. Yes. Any additional significance of emotional intelligence? Yes, that's a one component of it. Huh. Okay. Fine. Hmm. रिजर्वेशन कहाँ पे लिखा था फार्मर्स हाँ ओके फाइन yes that's fine see the thing is emotional intelligence have a role this is a crisis like situation think of you as a railway station in charge the kind of the stress you will having the road track is already occupied and all the arteries are blocked commerce is affected movement of passenger is affected okay politicians are calling you protesters are asking something passengers are so at individual level there is a lot of stress first of all that second is from the protesters point of view see that these are the farmers are protesting there are certain grievances okay you now emotional intelligence is that you should understand the emotions at individual level and manage those things you should understand the emotions of others and act accordingly so here the farmers may be having certain grievances. Their grievances has not been addressed as it has been stated. And in order to intensify, they are now trying to adopt certain measures. So it cannot be something like the people who are creating the chaos. You generally police action kaise rehti hai ki you go and pick them up and put them into the jail without having any words, persuasion, warning, etc. So here it means it can be a go counterproductive also okay when you are not hearing so here the role of emotional intelligence is understanding from their point of view empathizing with them that you are empathize with their cause of protest but this is not the way so trying to make them understand that you are a lot of concern about their problems whatever the problems they are facing and they should adopt some constitutional means okay they should get involved into the negotiation rather than adopting such illegal method. Now, this is like sensitizing oneself or sensitizing with respect to the others' problems and handling it with due care. अगर आपने directly बोल दिया this your cause is nonsense, how can you say it? This is not justified. Okay, this is a country of capitalism. Farmers has no role. Who are the farmers? Okay, we will eliminate the poverty once and for all by eliminating you. Okay, so that's sort of a belligerent attitude. It may go counterproductive. So forget about their protests with the political class. They will start like disrupting the track ही खोल देंगे फिर. Yes, that can happen. So this is where a confrontationist attitude can cause the damage. Okay, so emotional intelligence in understanding the emotions of others and their problems and then persuading them. Emotional intelligence will have a role at your individual level because you will be under stress. There are passengers problems, there are protesters, there are senior officers will also be asking, political class will be calling you. So in such situation, rather than taking a knee-jerk action, you may go and do the lathi charge straightforward and may go into some coercive methods. So this knee-jerk reaction will be avoided only when you are very emotionally strong at your individual level. You will not get swayed away by the frustration emotions. So that's also at individual level. Third is emotions of, yes please. Yes, passengers also. So third point is that from the passengers' point of view, their anger is something justified. If some sort of so again you are mishandling them and saying that you cannot do this and that, and you are trying to take a very stringent action against the passenger, that will be a counterproductive. You have to understand that the crisis has happened and their anger is justified. So again, pacifying the anger, trying to show solidarity with them. So these are the aspects that are you need to learn. ओके दैट इज टू मच टू आस्क फॉर ओके प्रोटेस्ट कहाँ पे हो रहा है रेलवे ट्रैक पे चलो चल दिए मैं गांधी हूँ आप पीछे पीछे आ जाओ यस पॉसिबिलिटी है बट सर्टेनली नहीं 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 ये नहीं कर सकते हम अब ये भी है कि जो प्रोटेस्टर है उनके थोड़ा सा देख लो कि इनकी कौन सी सेलिब्रिटी है उन सेलिब्रिटी को बुला के उनको कन्विंस करने के लिए बोल लो शाहरुख खान सलमान खान को बुला के प्लीज लाइक गिव अप द possibility है, लेकिन you have to also think the feasibility of a given situation. ठीक है? Yes, this can be solution, but you have to think that passenger will be languishing there, protester will have there. So you as an intermediate role has a lot thing to do. Yes, now the next one. Also, in meantime, you can also convince the political and the bureaucratic class to engage them constructively with the dialogue. Okay, that's also the possible. Now, what are the steps you are going to take so that such things will not happen in future? Okay, there are two broader things. One, yes, please. Hmm. 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 Isolation from whom? Do you know that how much is the railway track in India? बांग्लादेश की उतनी फेंसिंग नहीं हो पा रही है हमसे. नहीं, yes, but we are not Israel. Come on, मतलब there is a financial constraint. हर रेलवे ट्रैक ही नहीं बना पाते आप, हर रेलवे ट्रैक के बाजू में वो करें. नहीं नहीं, yes, it is important. We are not saying. You have to also see the feasibility of it. Protecting the railway tracks, you can say that. That's how you can write. Yes, very good. In fact, that is what the protesters who have already illegally occupied it and caused the damage, there has to be action against them. Okay, that is the law which is there. So there is a breach of law. So the case should be filed upon them so that the message will go into the public that such illegal and violent means of protest will not be considered as a valid means of protest. Okay, because that will create a deterrence. If you will not take an action, then again people will resort to such tricks, okay, which can paralyze the government. So unless and until you take strong action against them, the legal action against them, this protest will continue. Taking a strong action against them will give the message and will create a sort of deterrence. Second thing is people needs to be educated about the law that's sitting on this thing. See, you can educate the masses that protest is, yes, it is a constitutional means of redressal of grievances and the dissent, but it should be done only in a peaceful and the legitimate manner. There's something which is illegitimate that cannot be justified. So that sort of education is required. Protests are fine, but disruption of this system is not correct. Yes. You can say that in the long term also, the crisis management plan, when such things will happen, etc. The long term, that is addressing the different social conflicts in the society and problems, so that such things will not happen in future. Okay, so these are the points. Not much. So it's a collection of three things. So if you see this, such kind of questions will be asked. Disaster management. So in case of disaster management, there should be a graded response. Okay, it should not be all at once. You should go for the stringent mechanism. Okay, it should from persuasion to warning to the legal measure and to the long-term solution. Also, you need to address the crisis and problems of all the stakeholders in a given case study. Okay, so that is it. Yes, give me this 16 paper here. Papers. Yes, a domestic violence types वाला case था, so we will do that. Have we done in the class? No, I think not. So you can automatic वो नहीं होता है क्या? वो नोटिफिकेशन चालू करूँ या कुछ मतलब आ जाएगा आपका देख लो. कुछ पॉपअप होके आ जाएगा तो These days, mobile handling is a very difficult thing. पेज ही दूसरा निकल गया, हाफ ऊपर वाला केस. गिव मी द फुल केस, आई विल रीड इट. थोड़ा सा पहले वाला ही पेज दे दो, आई विल रीड इट आउट थोड़ा सा. हाई ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. Yes, I'm reading the question, please pay an attention. You are an young, aspiring and the sincere employee in a government office working as an assistant to the director of your department. So you are newly joined, young, aspiring and sincere employee in an organization. You are working under director of your department. Since you have joined recently, you need to learn and progress. Luckily, your senior is very kind and ready to train you in your job. He is very intelligent and well-informed person having a knowledge of various departments. In short, you respect your boss and looking forward to learn a lot from him. Okay, so that's information, basic information. You are newly appointed person, your senior, he is also very good, kind, etc., etc. Okay. Since you have a good tuning with your boss, he started depending on you, and one day, due to the ill health, he has invited you at his place for finalizing some of the urgent work. He is not keeping well, so he is at home. So for certain official work, he has invited you at his place. You reached his house, and before you could ring the bell, you heard some shouting noises. You waited for a while. After entering the house, the boss greeted you and explained the work. But you were constantly disrupted by the crying of women. Okay, some noise is coming and she's crying, and you are constantly getting disturbed. At last, you inquired with the boss, but his answer did not satisfy you. Next day, you were compelled to inquire further in the office and found out that his behavior is very bad with his wife. He also bit of his wife. Okay, that's a serious case, domestic violence. But his wife is now this is also an additional point. So something, you see, his behavior is contradictory when he is at office and with respect to his wife. Now, third thing is, his wife is not well educated and she is a simple woman in a comparison to her husband. You see through your boss, you see that your boss is a nice person in office. He is engaged in the domestic violence at home. In such situation, what are the options that are available to you, and analyze the options and write your course of action. See, some of the options are also given, you can analyze. Just ignore the thing because it is the personal matter of your boss. First point is, ignore it because it is a personal matter of your boss. Second is, report the case to the appropriate authority. Second is, report the case to the appropriate authority. And third is, your own innovative approach towards the situation. Okay. If you have any other apart from these two. One is, see, there are two extreme options. One is about the complete ignoring it and leaving it to the boss. And second is, reporting to the appropriate authority. Third is your any third way or innovative approach. So take 5 minutes and write the answer. I hope the case is clear to you. Third option is your any innovative answer. Huh? ब्रेक व्हाट ब्रेक? क्लास में ब्रेक या अच्छा ओके, मुझे लगा डाइवोर्स की बात कर रहे हैं आप. नहीं, ऑप्शंस था ना. ओके ठीक है, ब्रेक नहीं, जल्दी छोड़ दूंगा आज 1 बजे. ठीक है. आप लेट आए हो और यस सर बोल रहे हो एकदम. यस. लॉयर आर वेरी हैप्पी बिकॉज दे गेट द केस एंड दे फाइल द केस. देखते हैं हम क्या क्या अप्रोच रहते हैं. Are you done? Yes. नहीं उसको give him. हाँ, yes. There is a violation of human rights. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. First is ignoring the case is not a valid option. अगर आपका प्रमोशन उनके ही पास है तो if your promotion is with him, then इतना सोच रहे हो मतलब. हाँ, ठीक है. हाँ, obviously it's not. हम्म. हम्म. ठीक है. ओके. हम्म. वेट हाँ. हम्म. 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 ओके. हम्म. ठीक है. गुड. हम्म. हाँ, यस. वेट अ मिनट. हाँ. हाँ. हम्म. हम्म. हाँ, ये रेफरेंस था क्या इसका, वाइफ इज नॉट एजुकेटेड वाला? हाँ ठीक है, तो उसको थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लिकेट बना दो। मैं, शी इज सिंपल, सो मेक हर कॉम्प्लिकेट, शी इज ऑलरेडी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड मे बी, यू नो, मेक हर मॉडर्न। अच्छा, बोर हो रहे हैं ये? अरे बाप रे बाप। अच्छा, he means to say the boss is very sophisticated and this wife is not educated, so मजा नहीं आ रहा है, तो उसको थोड़ा सिखा दो, जॉब दिला दो। ओके, ओके, गुड। वेट वेट, हाँ, यस यू। हम्म, ओके, ओके, यस, वेरी गुड। हम्म, हम्म, यस, ओके, good. Many points are there. Some more also can be written. See, the thing is, let me finish with this. Okay, that is a counseling and persuasion, making him understand that this resorting to the domestic violence is not the way forward. Okay, and you cannot, like, persuasion mein wahi hai, persuasion, counseling, through which you are trying to convince him. Then the wife, she is not educated, it means that she is in fact enduring the pain of domestic violence because she is not aware of rights. Okay, so making her aware of rights, that is gender equality plus domestic violence laws, that there is no need of fear. Okay, so that's also one of the things, mediation and complaint. Okay, yes. Innovative methods, yes. Without knowing the root cause, okay, Hmm. Yes. Hmm. 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 विजन इंस्टीट्यूट। आईएएस प्रिपरेशन करने के लिए करो, थोड़ा सा ऑलराउंडर बन जाएगी। फॉरेन लैंग्वेज कोर्स, ओके, ठीक है, ठीक है, गुड गुड। फ्रेंच या जर्मन? फ्रेंच, ओके, थैंक यू। रशियन? ओके, प्राइवेट स्पेस, ओके, फाइन, good. You have a points like asking them coming for the dinner is something like giving them a common platform where they can share each other's grievances against each other. Okay, and you can play a role of catalyst. Okay, in order to diffuse the crisis. If they have personal grievances, okay, those grievances can be spoken up, and the common grounds can be found out. Okay, workable common solutions. That is yes. Yes, next. What is? हाँ, है ही है डुअल पर्सनालिटी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, हाँ। अरे बाप रे, आप मतलब, सी द थिंग इज इफ यू आर हैविंग गुड, अगर मैं गर्लफ्रेंड से बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ तो मैं मतलब साइकोलॉजिकली, ओके फाइन, साइको एनालिटिकल बिहेवियर ऑफ द पर्सन, डुअल पर्सनालिटी, ठीक है। Why he is not only good with the wife, then women colleagues in the office, then rest of the other player, the mother, the sister, there can be other player also. Okay, fine. अरे वहां से तो सॉफ्ट कॉर्नर होना चाहिए, थोड़ा सा मतलब रिलीफ आना चाहिए. हाँ, ठीक है. एनी अदर? यस प्लीज. यस. यस, मेरिट एंड डिमेरिट. हाँ. हम्म. 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 यस. हम्म. ठीक है, फाइन, गुड. हाँ. हाँ. Then also, yes, we will discuss how to. Yes, yes, yes. That's the last only. Yes, आप कुछ बोलने थे? Okay, which similar point? Okay, ठीक है, ठीक है. The second what we have written. Psychiatrist, अरे हर समय pathological problem in the brain is not the issue. हाँ, ठीक है. ठीक है. So psychologist is different from psychiatrist. ठीक है. When you have the pathological problem, it's a different thing. When you have a stress and you go for stress, मतलब this relationship management and then counselors, okay, counselors for the family management, the marriage management, etc. So those counselors are very different. Yes, please, last. Oh. So obviously, where we are thrusting this upon the women, we are not. We're trying to understand. Counseling ke through, we are trying to speak with them. What is their problem? Is there any conciliation possible? If the conciliation is not possible, so obviously domestic case. So this will only, you will get to know only after speaking to the women and both of them. Yes, certainly that is there. That's why we have kept the third option also. Okay. Now let's understand. Let's go by this way. See, ignorance of the case is not the option because merit you can write just in one line. Maybe your relationship with the boss will not hampered. Okay, it will be remain a cordial relationship, and you will not enter into his private sphere, so you will not put to their disadvantage. But here, what is more important is the demerit. Demerit is completely ignoring the cases of women harassment and domestic violence. Okay, as a normal enlightened citizens, okay, one cannot ignore the domestic violence. That's for sure. Okay, so that remaining silent is not an option. Now, filing a complaint seems to be a very correct option, legally speaking, because this is a domestic violence case. Case has already happened because it has been also written that on a very next day you have went and found out that some domestic violence is happening. So filing a complaint certainly has a merit. Merit is this will provide a sense of justice to the women. It will stop the harassment of the further harassment of the women in future. And justice, that is, the action will be taken against the boss who is a culprit, and women will be remain free from the harassment. But there are certain demerits here. Okay, certain demerits here. That is, see, the thing is, you have to understand that this is a family matter, and in India, the family and the marriages are considered as a very sacred institutions. Okay, and some of the problems are bound to come. In this case, when the case is filed up, it's a completely stage towards the separation. Okay, once you have filed up the, so as maximum as possible, first we need to explore those options where the family and the marriages can be preserved, okay, for the interest of both the parties. And this is what is the approach adopted. Even when the divorce case is filed, the lawyers first will try to give you the chance so that the problems can be reconciled within the family. So this approach, maybe domestic violence will be stopped, but there will be a separation, and this is an extreme option where we can say that legal. So legal will be the last option whenever it is the cases of family and the marriages. Okay, that is where we see the last option. So less than the legal, if you can find the resolution of the problem, okay, to the satisfaction of both the parties through the mediation, counseling, negotiation, then we should explore those options if there are certain grievances. So you can say that the day, rather than demerit, okay, you have to write demerit, but you can say that this is an extreme option wherein the case might be that this will lead to a complete breakage of marriage. Okay, so that's a running risk. Maybe in worse circumstances, we may have to adopt if the violence is continued. Now, you can write the third approach, that is where we see that the conciliation, negotiation, and mediation. Okay, that is where reconciliation of conflict. Conciliation, mediation, and negotiation. So you can say that counseling with the boss and persuading him about the things. You can make the wife aware of her rights also. Now, in this case, the question very specifically says innovative approach. Now, this is a very general point that we are going for the counseling and innovation. You have to be specific about what sort of innovation you are going to bring. So you can say that one innovation is, I will, yes, ask them to come for the dinner, and then I'll show through the demonstration. Okay, say if you are married, then you can also make them understand, okay, that how positive relations can happen within the family. So making them realize through demonstration effect, through counseling, asking them to share their problems so that you can play a role of catalyst in order to diffuse the problems, whatever the grievances are there. So this sort of innovative approach. Second, other demonstration effect can be like, say for example, a movie. You can take them to the movie, some sort of movie where such things do happen. बागबान मूवी, हाँ, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. या फिर अभी बागबान बोला तो एक याद आ रहा है, वो सलमान खान का और ये करिश्मा कपूर का वो है ना, बीवी नंबर 1 है क्या? हाँ, तो वो लड़के बैठे हैं स्कूल में गए, फिर वो रो रहे मम्मी पापा नहीं है तो मुझे माफ करना, वो साईराम कुछ सॉन्ग है. तो उनको रियलाइज होगा कि मदर एंड फादर एंड देयर रिलेशन, मतलब सम सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग वेयर द प्रॉब्लम्स कैन बी. ऐसे मूवी में मत ले जाओ कि जहाँ पे हाँ उल्टा ही है एकदम. ठीक है, सो दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग्स, दैट इज हाउ यू हैव टू मेक them understand that the relationship are important. Now, after this conciliation, if the boss agrees, you should also write that I will still keep a follow-up of the case, because it's quite possible the domestic violence will continue. If the domestic violence continue, then I will have no options but to help her, to show a solidarity with her and help her to file the complaint. Okay, in this case mediation में so दो तीन चीजें आ सकती है. You yourself ask for the negotiating table. You ask them to take an help of the counselor. Marriage counselors are there, so I will help them in order to take the help of marriage counselor so that problems can be amicably resolved. And after follow up, if it is found that the case has not stopped, then I will help the wife, okay, to file the case, because that's the last option. Okay? So that's how you have to take the case. One or two cases we will do till one. Yes, the question says, online question, John Rawls concept of social justice in Indian context, please explain. UPSC 2016. We have already done in the class. John Rawls concept of social justice. Do you remember or not? John Rawls concept of social justice. Where we have done under which head? Yes, in case of justice, we have done both the types of justice. Justice, one is related with the lawyer's justice, that is a crime related justice. And second is distributive justice. Okay. So here we have discussed retributive justice, that is through the punishment. And then reformative justice, deterrence. Do you remember or not? Okay. So this is to manage the crime. By punishing the person, we deliver the justice by reforming the criminal, and deterrence by having a strong laws. Distributive justice में ये देखा था. Distributive justice is about distribution of the resources. And we have seen that the resources can be distributed on both the basis, that is merit basis and equity. Equity as a criteria for distribution of resources. Under that distributive justice, or it is also called as socio-economic justice, redistributive justice, we have seen scholars like Amartya Sen and John Rawls. Okay, Amartya Sen, who talks about empowerment approach, and he says that we need to invest more in case of social infrastructure such as health, education, skill, employment. One of the scholars that we have discussed is John Rawls. Okay, John Rawls has given a principle of social justice, and in fact we have seen that there are three principles of John Rawls. Okay, three principles of John Rawls theory. First is liberty or freedom to all. Liberty or freedom to all. Second is yes, equality of all. And third is difference principle. Third is difference principle. In fact, this is a principle of social justice. Difference principle, that we should differentiate the people into, that is differentiation means that yes, some of the people can be discriminated, but this discrimination only for the positive if it is helping the weaker section of the society. So it means that what the John Rawls is saying, we can differentiate the people at the apex of the pyramid and the bottom of the pyramid, provided that if such differentiation help the people who are at the bottom of pyramid. That is called as difference principles. So you can relate this with the social justice principle. Okay, social justice principle in the John Rawls is coming out of difference principle, not out of liberty. Equality, yes, certainly, but he is talking about more of a equality of opportunity. Difference principle, that differentiation of people in a society so that people at the bottom of pyramid or the weaker section can be helped. Now this gives rise to the social justice principle. Now question says that apply this social justice principle of John Rawls in the Indian context. So you can simply identify different vulnerable section of the society and how the Indian law and constitution also give the mandate to the state and the government to differentiate the people in order to help the weaker section of society. Now, first you identify what are the different marginal and weaker sections. So right from scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, other backward class, women, children, senior citizen, disabled, etc. So you can identify and you can say that there are good number of constitutional provisions and there are different laws that exist in order to help these people. Okay, so constitutional provisions, namely Article 15 and 16. Okay, Clause 4, Clause 3, 4, 5. In case of 16 also, Clause 4. So वहाँ पे जो लिखा है social and educational, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, जैसे Article 15 में है. Okay, Article 15 में Clause 3 में है children and women, that state can make and provisions for the children and women. Fourth में लिखा हुआ है state can make the provision for the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and other socially and educationally backward class. 15(5) में लिखा हुआ है कि same scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and socio-educationally backward class in case of educational institutes. So you can say that constitution, see, you need not have to write the clauses, you simply say that article 15 has a provision. 16 में लिखा हुआ है कि any backward class that is not adequately represented in the state. You can say that subsequently the Mandal Commission has come up with this other backward class and then reservation was being provided. So that's how you can write about the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and other backward class. For women and children, you can write lot many measures that have been taken. For disabled, you can write. So you can say that we are trying to differentiate the people within the society in order to help the most vulnerable. This is how the application of the John Rawls principle of difference principle or the social justice in Indian context. And in conclusion, you can say that the Amartya Sen has in fact taken this principle forward by stating and bringing the empowerment approach to the debate. And he is saying that merely helping them by subsidizing them and this thing is not sufficient, but we need to empower them so that they can sustain themselves in the long run. Okay, so that's, I think this was already discussed, but this. Yes, equality also. Yes, certainly. Yes, yes, yes. There are lot many provisions. Tribals are related, separate, scheduled castes are related. You can talk about the reservation in Panchayat also. Okay, that is for the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Lot many provisions can be. 46. Yes, 46 also directive principle of state policy. So, uske under how the 46 has been, yes, implemented. So, some of the laws you can mention those laws. Yes, next is one case study. One more we will take. Yes, any other doubt if you have, you can please ask. इसमें एक और एक क्वेश्चन लिया था देखो, all equal should be treated equally and unequal should be treated unequally. Okay, so that question is also relevant. हाँ, एरिस्टोटल का था लेकिन in general भी हाँ, meritocracy. So we are talking about differentiation principle. Distributive justice can done in two ways. One side of the coin is this, another side of the coin is the meritocratic. Okay. Yes, the next is the question says that you are a managing director or CEO of a company, and in that particular company, obviously the company is doing the lot of CSR activities, and it's enjoy a lot of trust among the public in general. Now, one of the employee is Miss X, and this Miss X has been diagnosed with HIV/AIDS. Okay, she has been diagnosed. Obviously, should not cast a spell on her character. Reasons also mentioned that it is because of the malpractice of a doctor, okay, that some contaminated syringe is used, and she has now been infected with the HIV/AIDS. Okay, so doctor's malpractice or negligence, you can say that, medical negligence, that it was been found that contaminated syringe was being used. Now, the policy of a company is very clear cut that there should not be discrimination of employee on the basis of this tag, HIV/AIDS tag. So policy is very clear cut that in the organizational premises or in the company, there should not be discrimination of such employees. Okay, so policy are there in place of organization that there should not be discrimination. But on one fine day, it has been observed that Miss X is coming to CEO and tendering her resignation, stating that she is facing lot of social discrimination based upon her this tag of HIV/AIDS infection. So she is facing the social discrimination, and she is mentioning that now people are taking, they are not, see, earlier what used to happen, they used to take the meal together, okay, all the employees. Now they are boycotting her, they are not, nobody's taking a meal with her, okay, dinner and lunch, etc. They are not even taking the water from the common pool, the source from which she is extracting the water. So even in discussion and meetings also, she will be cornered. Okay, so that's a sort of discrimination during the meal, water, discussion, deliberation. So she has been completely socially boycotted. Now, because of this, she is tendering the resignation. Also, she is thinking to file a case against company because of the kind of the social discrimination that she is facing. Now, she is thinking to file a case against the company. Now, as a CEO of the company, so you discuss what are the options that are available to you and what will be your course of action. Okay, I'll mention some of the options. So write options and we'll discuss the points. First is accept the resignation. Accept the resignation and provide her certain compensation. Accept the resignation. Provide her compensation so that she should not file the case against company. Second, do not accept resignation. Do not accept resignation. Transfer her to some other department. Okay. So in current department, she is facing discrimination. So transfer her to some other department. Third, ask her to continue job. Ask her to continue with the job and take strict action against the colleague who discriminated against her. Take action against colleague who discriminated against her. Okay. Also write your final course of action. Also without necessarily restricting to above options. Write your course of action. Write your course of action. Yes. Not a very difficult, we can discuss directly. Okay, so the first option is, kya tha? Yes, accept the resignation and give her a compensation. What do you think? Yes, see, the thing is, first of all, you have to introduce, see, sometimes the introduction of the cases will help you in writing the answer. So, यहाँ पे आप एक CEO का dilemma, what are the ethical issues? You can introduce the case by saying that this case is a case of discrimination on the basis of HIV/AIDS, okay, which is a serious problem. This is the first important concern, that is the discrimination. So this is the core crux part of the problem. You should address this at any point. Second is the ethical issue is the dilemma of CEO. Dilemma of CEO and managing director. What is the dilemma here? Efficiency, okay, or yes, it is because she is now thinking to file the complaint, okay, versus that is the reputation of company and the because he is not going to take action against the employees also, that's also harm. So commercial interest of a company and reputation of company versus social discrimination at workplace. Okay. Yes, that we will write. Okay. Commercial interest and the reputation of a company versus the social discrimination at workplace based on the particular disease. And third is ethical corporate governance or corporate ethical corporate governance in general. Okay, so these are some of the points that you should highlight because this will help you in writing the evaluation also. Okay, now come to the first, that is accepting the resignation, and this basically that giving her a compensation. So some of the merit you may suggest, that is from the CEO's point of view. Okay, the reputation of company will not affect it because it is written that compensation is given so that she will not file the case. That's the merit maybe. Second merit may be discrimination at workplace will get in. Discrimination at workplace only. Okay, that's a quick fix solution jisko bola jata hai. Although it is not a very good, but at least she will not face the crisis. But then demerit should be written in length. You can say that it is basically not eliminating the problem and taking the action against those who are causing the discrimination, but this is just a diplomatic quick fix solution in order to protect the commercial interests and the reputation of the company by completely ignoring the social rights of women or the social discrimination that is prevalent. Okay, so जो बोलते हैं ना एक smart solution आपने किया है तैयार, diplomatic solution, win-win situation. But so-called win-win diplomatic solution is not a very good because the crux of the problem, that is this social discrimination, that has not been addressed. Okay, although the commercial interests and the reputation are addressed, the social discrimination, which is a very serious problem, is not being addressed. Okay. Also, in a long term, the reputation of company will also get affected. If this lady will go and there is a discrimination of HIV in the long run, that's also in reputation of company. Okay, that may be also get affected. ये भी demerit में लिखा जा सकता है. आप reputation कैसे देखते हो? Long term वाला reputation देख रहे हो और just a case filing वाला reputation देख रहे हो? She may go and write on the social media that such and such company has given me the compensation so as not to file the complaint, and there was so much of discrimination. That also will affect the discrimination in the long run. Yes. Yes. Today this, tomorrow anybody else. Yes. Now the second option kya hai? Transfer her. Okay. Now transfer her, see, there is not a big difference in the first and the second. Okay, same points can be repeated. You are simply like trying to avoid the situation, changing the environment and trying to avoid the crux of the problem. Yes, that's also, that is, there is no guarantee that she won't face the discrimination, and you haven't done anything seriously, directly. There is no direct intervention on the problem. The third is, third kya hai? Yes, ask her to continue and take a strong action against the people who are discriminating her. Yes, certainly this is an option. This is part of your solution. Apart from anything more that is required? Yes, very good. Attitudinal change also. See, there are immediate solution and the long-term solution. So immediate solution is those who are discriminating her. Okay, rather than filing the case directly, here again the persuasion, warning, apart from that some sort of action if they are obviously continuing with the discrimination. So I will have words with, I will try and find out those people who are discriminating her, and then I will persuade that this is not the way forward. I will warn her also, warn them. Okay, that's a long term. See, the thing is, the part of problem can be two also. One is the lack of education, that how there is a spread of HIV/AIDS. So generally it is being shown in advertisement, HIV spread साथ में खाने से या share करने से नहीं फैलता है. So there might be a fear in the minds of employees that they may catch the HIV infection if they associated themselves with the women. So this diffusing this particular insecurity from their minds is very essential. So you can say that I will conduct some seminar and awareness within for my employees that HIV and this thing do not spread by sharing the meal or by sharing the water, etc. Okay, there are very four concrete way of passing of HIV or the spread of HIV. That is blood transfusion and this and etc. etc. That is sexual transmitted disease and then syringe and then contaminated blood. Okay, so beyond that it does not spread. So and also you will not only educate them on this means of transmission, you will also tell that yes, that is demonstration also, and you will make them understand that it's a right of HIV/AIDS patient, okay, to have a normal life, okay, like that of any other citizen, and social discrimination will only make you to face the legal action against you. So that's sort of a warning. So education as well as the warning that can be given to it. Fourth is, yes, a demonstration that by retaining her, you can write, and by giving her all sort of facilities and the benefits, I will try to demonstrate also that some sort of, for the employees, it's a sort of education. So leading from examples, setting an example, making an precedence for how to treat an HIV/AIDS patient. So that's an opportunity for us also. That's something what we call opportunity in disguise. I'll make a use of her case and this particular case in order to demonstrate that there cannot be a discrimination. So that the message of organization will go far and wide, that organization do not discriminate the people on the basis of such sort of tag. In fact, that helps in generating the good reputation for the company also. Okay, and one more point last, because here it is written CSR activity. So you can say that as a CSR activity, since the case has happened, now you have got to know that there is a lot of social discrimination against the HIV. So I will do one CSR activity for the HIV awareness campaign also in the long run for the larger interest of the society. Because what is prevalent attitude of employee may be the prevalent attitude of the society also. So I will work towards it. A significant amount of CSR can be invested so that things can be improved. Okay, so this is how. So although the answer is written in the third, but the clearly question mentions that beyond this, without restricting to the above measure. So first two are obviously eliminated. Third option is a part of answer. Apart from third, some other measures you need to take so as to diffuse the problem for the longer run. Okay, one more case I'll take. Last case. No, no, one more case I'll take. Yes. Okay, yes. See, the thing is, even if the mass and all, if there is no rationality, you will make them understand. Okay. In fact, that's the seriousness of the problem, that there is so much of lack of awareness about the means. So, see, the strict action against them is your action, the last action. Okay, before that, something what we have discussed in case of domestic violence also, the action is if the discrimination continued. But before that, the fourth option should come. Fourth option में हम ये कर रहे हैं, I'll try and find it out first why they are discriminating. I'll get to know that they are not aware. If they are saying what you are saying, that because they can catch the HIV/AIDS, so it means that out of the ignorance they are discriminating. So I'll make them aware. I'll make them more rational. Okay, and in spite of this, if the discrimination continued, then you have to take the action against them. Have you understood? Okay, so first is education, sensitization, awareness, the legal and constitutional rights of such patients. Even if mass hesitation, sir, does it mean that the number justifies something which is not justified? Does it mean that number, if increasing in number, justify what is not justified? Yes, certainly not. So number will not, you have to take an action. Even when your commercial interest is affected, you still have to be very strong against this. If 10 people are committing a gang rape, you will see that no, all the board of directors were involved and they are very, very strategic position. And since the board of director, the whole company is rallying behind them, no, board of director are very pious and what they do is absolutely correct. So are we going to justify because all the mass hesitation is going on? No, it cannot be. Even a mass for a wrong reason cannot be justified. Even a single person for a good reason can be justified. Okay. So one voice of conscience will also be a sufficient. Yes. Anybody has raised hand? Please. See, that's a broader part. It's not the mandate of the company. Yes, you can certainly see that thing. That case can be filed up. So it is more about helping the women to file the complaint. Okay. Everything and anything cannot be done by the CEO of the company. Okay. Individual, yes, filing the case, etc. So that will be depend upon that. You are to, acha, you yourself, matlab, you as a CEO. Yes, certainly demonstration that I will try, lead by examples. Okay, you are trying to, matlab, yes, you are not giving any sort of signal that you are discriminating her. Okay, but बहुत ज़्यादा engagement भी नहीं होनी चाहिए. Okay, opportunity in disguise करके, ठीक है. So that sort of thing should not happen. Okay, anyways, so the last question, briefly I'll discuss very briefly, because that will complete all the themes. In fact, we have taken one very similar case about the kind of dilemma. You are an department in charge for a recruitment of आशा वर्कर. आशा वर्कर किस लिए होते हैं? Yes, NRHM, women health worker. What is the full form of ASHA? Accredited Social Health Activist. Okay, so you are in charge of recruitment of ASHA workers in a given area. Now, as you are going for the recruitment drive, the local MLA of your area has called you up, okay, and he has requested you to select a particular woman. Okay, MLA of your area has called you up and he has asked you to select a particular woman for as an ASHA worker. Now, some of the reasons also he has said that it should be done for the compassionate ground, because this woman is a one who has lost her husband and the husband is a soldier. Okay, so the woman is a wife of soldier. Woman is a wife of soldier who has lost his life in the recent battle. Okay, and the MLA is asking to give preference to her. Give preference to her by overlooking others. By overlooking others. Are you understanding? Okay. So, on a compassionate ground, he is asking you to select a particular lady because the soldier, wife, etc. Okay. So, preference by overlooking the others. Now, you have taken the follow-up of women and you have seen her documents and you found her to be eligible. Okay, you have gone the scrutiny of her documents and you found her eligible for the post. Eligible for the post. Okay, so this is the case study. Now write the question. What are the ethical issues of the case? First, what are the ethical issues of the case? Ethical issues of the case. Second, will you select the women? Will you select the women, given women, or will you listen to the MLA? Select the women on the compassionate ground. On the compassionate ground. And why? Whatever, yes and no, and why? And third, is there any other option? Is there any other option that you want to explore? Okay, so that is it. Take 2-3 minutes and just write crux. We'll discuss. और थर्ड वाला जो पॉइंट है, सिंपली ऑब्लिक करके लिखो व्हाट विल बी योर कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन. उसको ऑब्लिक करके व्हाट इज योर कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन. What is your course of action? केस स्टडी समझ में आ गए? ओके. ये अब आप लिखो, मतलब जो भी लिखना है. नहीं, ओनली वन नहीं है ऑब्वियसली. आशा वर्कर काफी सारे हैं. ओके, यस, 100 आशा वर्कर्स लिखो, जो भी 10 आशा वर्कर्स, 10 आशा वर्कर्स फ्रॉम द विलेज. How many classes are remaining for each class? Okay. RB2 or 1 month is remaining approximately. What is remaining in GS part? Okay. RB3? अच्छा, हाँ ठीक है, ठीक है. IR वगैरह हो गए क्या? Yes, shall we discuss? First of all, why this question? What's wrong with this? Going ahead, and is there any dilemma at all? Is there any dilemma? Why? What is the dilemma? Biasness can be, okay, can be blamed, but if you objectively follow this too, that yes, she is a wife of a soldier who has lost his battle, who has lost the life, and she is eligible. Yes, please be loud. Empathy and okay. Ah. Okay, that is more going into it. Considering that her documents are fine, and there is a truth in what has been said, compassion. Is there any problem? No. Okay, good. That's a one point. Yes. Yes, but good. But it is written eligible. Yes, very good. See, the point is what she has said is absolutely right. See, do not get confused between eligibility and the best available. We all are eligible for writing the prelims. Are you understanding? So the eligibility does not mean that you are the best among the available slot. Okay, eligibility will that yes, you can be one of the candidate which can be selected. Are you understanding? So it means that some due process has to be followed in order to select the particular person. So you have to see that this was a catch. Okay, somebody might feel that yes, compassion is also there, plus objectivity is also there because since she is an eligible. No, she is just an eligible. So there can be some 100 women and 1,000 women which can be eligible. And by ignoring, it may gives a sense of injustice for those who are more meritorious and more, you can say that, competent and more competent for a particular job. So this is a dilemma. Okay, so dilemma you can explain first and introduce the case study by stating this dilemma, that this dilemma has a conflicting values that a compassion on one side versus the merit, objectivity, impartiality, due process on the other side. One of the words you should write. Okay, compassion on one side, that is allocating someone on the compassionate basis versus following the due process, merit, objectivity, impartiality of the selection process. Now, first, what are the options available? So this is what is the ethical issues that you have to mention. Also, you can say that this compassion में थोड़ा सा लिख सकते हो because she has lost the soldier, so she has nobody to support, so compassion ground. Second process में due process क्यों follow करनी चाहिए? Because one, that is the most competent person should be chosen. Second is there should not be a sense of injustice to those who are more competent. Okay, otherwise the message will go to the public that many a time such processes can be tampered with by allocating on a different basis. So there should be a sense of justice to those who have applied. So that's a debate. Now let's see that what is the way forward or what the person can do. What are the options? Second question क्या लिखा था? Yes, we can say that in that options. So second is, should we, are you going to allocate only on the basis of compassion ground? If yes, why? If no, why? So basically, the answer, you can write yes, but the thing is that's only half-hearted answer. Okay, you have to write no. Only compassion cannot be the ground, or maybe if I have to allocate on the compassionate ground, I will have to see through other things also. Okay, other things क्या है वो देखेंगे. So let's find it out the course of action. You will automatically understand what is to be written in the second answer. Second question. Okay, so what should be the way forward or क्या course of action होना चाहिए? Okay. Hmm. Yes. Yes. Hmm. Yes. Good. Hmm. Hmm. हाँ, दम others. आशा में ही अब क्या है? Hmm. Yes. Very good. Or so that she can be fit. See, the thing is, see, first of all, you have to see for a bureaucrat, it's very important to follow the rules and regulations of the procedures. So, for the selection of ASHA, there must be certain eligibility also, and there must be certain procedures to be followed. Okay, through which out of this eligible, they will be filter out. So, the procedure must be mentioned there. So, you cannot like take an action or you can favor or disfavor on any ground by ignoring at the procedure and the objectivity, impartiality. So you can see that first thing which I am going to do, that what he has said, that is there any possibility that out of 10, is there any provision within the law and the rule that one or two position can be reserved for this, if there is a provision. So I will try and find it out, is there any provision that out of the number of ASHA to be chosen, is there any provision of reservation or the quota that can be given on the compassionate basis. Now, if it is there, so obviously it is win-win situation. She is ineligible, and I will see that the merit will not get compromised, as well as the rules and regulations will not get hampered. Are you understanding? Now, so the first is I'll try and find it out if there are quota and reservation for allocating the position on the compassion ground. And if it is there, I will see that whether she is eligible by checking the documents and will fit her. Second thing is, if such provisions is not available within the law, okay, then I will strictly follow the procedure that I will maintain the objectivity and impartiality of the procedures. Why you are maintaining the objectivity and impartiality? For a variety of reasons. First of all, as a bureaucrat, you require to be objective and impartial in your decision making. First. Second is, there will be no relative sense of injustice among the people who are the competent. So you will see that I will choose the merit, objectivity and impartiality. But as I have said, first in right versus right dilemma, try and find out the balance. ये balance था first option में. If the balance is not there, then you select one which is most apt from your point of view. Here the most apt is this, but you do not ignore the other part. So you can say that I'll choose on the basis of objectivity, but I will make sure that she should be provided with some sort of assistance. Okay, I'll try and find out, is there any other vacancies in different departments where on the compassionate basis she can be accommodated. If she is eligible, that can be done. The third thing is, maybe in other areas the vacancy is there but she is not eligible. So in those cases I will provide the financial support and other support in an immediate as an immediate measure, and she can be given sort of training and require prerequisite, whatever there is there. So as per her capacity, whatever is fitted, a kind of a job is provided to her. Apart from that, certain financial incentives such as widow pension and etc., some other can be given. The children's cares can be taken care of, etc. And in the end, you have to see that I will ensure that both for the sake of compassion, the merit and the objectivity will not get hampered, and I will not be remain just a status quoist. Even if she is not fit, I will show an empathy towards him and try and accommodate her. What about the MLA? You can see that I will make the MLA understand that there are no such provisions where a person can be randomly accommodated on the basis of compassion. There are no rules as such. If at all it has to be done, the rules has to be changed first in order to accommodate her. But if the rules are not being changed, then you are supposed to follow the rules, and she can be accommodated in some alternative mechanism. Are you understanding? So what are the rules? That rules has to be followed. You cannot flout the rules. We have seen this sort of examples. जो आधार कार्ड वाला एक women का देखा था, if you remember. Okay, merit versus compassion. So merit versus compassion. Now this case was very interesting because compassion was very strong. That soldier's wife, etc. She was eligible. Documents are also ready, but still you have to see the due process. So you can write in conclusion that both the desirable things can be followed without ignoring each other. Okay, that's how you have to read it. So this is how we have completed almost all the themes. Okay, so if you do this and previous year's question paper, in 2000 we have taken one lecture on this also, that is 2016 paper, the full paper, theory part as well as. So I think that has been uploaded on your YouTube channel. No, none of from your batch came. I think from some people from RB3 came. एक सेशन रखा हुआ था 2016 वाला. Okay. YouTube पे है. Yes, YouTube पे I think they have uploaded. So you see, your preparation will not complete if you will not see the last 2 years papers. Okay, last 2 years papers, not last 2 years, last 4 years paper. While discussion of theory part and case study, I have almost incorporated maximum number of questions. Okay, but still you should keep seeing the previous year's question paper also, both theory part as well as case study part. Case study we have done almost 15 to 20 themes. Okay, these kind of themes will only with differences. So you should able to make certain general structure also for each one of the theme and can sell accordingly. Okay, and all the best for your prelims examination as well as for mains, because this is our last class from my side. So I wish you all the best for your future journey, for mains, interview, and for life also. And do not forget me, you become a very big bureaucrat or etc. And do not forget ethics also. Okay. Otherwise, it's not only for taking the marks. Okay. I hope all of you have my email ID. And no, I haven't given. Security classes के बाद दिया था. Okay. So if you have any issue, problem, you can, yeah, Facebook, Twitter, जो भी है. Okay. And Gmail. So at any point of time, I hope अभी तो आपको problem नहीं आएगा, prelims है. तो when you will enter into the mains, beyond internal security और ethics भी अगर कुछ problems है, GS, VS का, prelims का preparation का, तब भी आप पूछ सकते हो. ऐसे कोई बात नहीं है कि I'll not advise. No, this is not me and you have texted wrong or etc. Okay, so yes, that is it. Thank you so much and wish you all the best.